started off when I started seeing a lot of these cool import cars hooked up, and they're really, fast, and it's kind of amazing what we could do with a 4-cylinder as opposed to just an all-muscle V8. I started off going with a little 4-cylinder over here and started putting a couple parts on it, and I really like the response of it.
That's what it is, man. It's passion. It's a thrill, It's just, I love it.
The fact that all these guys were talking about it, especially my boyfriend at the time, I started getting into it, but I noticed no females were into cars yet, and I wanted to be like the first female in high school to be involved in cars and know about cars. So if a guy comes around and talks about it, I'd be like, hey, I know that, and you think I don't, but I do, So that's my motivation.
I've always been a speed freak. If something goes fast, I'm all about trying to get it to go faster.
The cars are cool, smaller motors. This is, got the rotary, so it's even different. Didn't have a muscle car for my first car, so I just, modified what I had and then just stuck with, Japanese when I got the new car.
Kind of way to express myself. Instead of spending money on different things, I can spend it on my car and make it look good.
It's just a passion.
I took my GoPed apart when I had a GoPed. I hooked it up and I had that thing going like 35 miles an hour. I was like 12 years old, chasing cars down on a GoPed.
You put one part in the car, and once you put that on there, you're like, damn, what else can I put on my car to make it go faster? You start adding parts, and you adding parts, and next thing you know, you're about like $10,000 in debt. Before the Fast and the Furious, it was a pretty much straightforward scene, It wasn't as big, it was a little more underground. A lot of these people going out, hooking up their cars and meeting up. After the Fast and Furious, it got good and bad. Good in the sense that more people were aware of it. More people had a little more respect for it. Bad in the sense that people started getting a little out of hand with it, going for all looks and no go, and it's kind of what they determine as race these days.
It brought a lot of good light to the racing scene, but it did bring a lot of the ricers or posers, people that just slap stickers on a car and think they're fast all of a sudden.
I like the movie, but I don't, in that it negatively impacted. I guess kids are just naive to what this really is. They think it's cool and it's just a cover, a mask, and a face. But people like me, my boyfriend, all the people I hang out with, we're just intimately within the sport of it. We're not a mass, we just like the performance and the looks, and that's it. But with the drag racing and all the accidents happening, that's just irresponsibility.
It characterized, a lot of the scene, as a whole, and kind of put like a bad almost aura on a lot of people, who just want to do it for fun, and not everybody goes out in street races and does crime at the same time.
It definitely positively affects it to an extent where people kind of want to get hyped into it. Definitely kind of gives you more creative ideas and lets you know what's really out there. It really sparks an interest in people that really don't even know anything about it, but kind of negatively affects it to the point where it kind of makes it dangerous for people who don't really wisely do it correctly.
They help you out with it so you can do things on your own, learn a lot more. If you want to research about, say, a turbo, I think the internet's probably one of the better things for it, because of the internet, it's become a lot bigger. I post on car forums, and if you have any kind of trouble, you can always post and hurt.
It's helped. It's giving a lot of information, and people, it's like a magazine, a big, huge magazine. That's all it is, and that's a good way to learn from it.
I think it's helped a lot. Just, working on your car, especially if you can't figure out, what to do next, you just type it in on Google and, pages come up, and there's a lot of how-tos, write-ups, stuff like that really help in the shade tree mechanic.
Definitely has increased the market and made it a lot easier, more readily accessible. Everything I get now is through the internet. I want something that comes in the mail in a couple of days. Much cheaper, definitely much easier. A lot of things I didn't even know about, I can research on the internet, quickly find out. So people like me who really get into it, it's a really wise tool to use. Push it the wrong way, because a lot of people want to do the same things. It doesn't show enough of spark of imagination. You're getting a lot of people that are doing car clubs and got 12, 15 cars that look exactly the same. That kind of kills the whole image. It doesn't show enough originality.
Yeah, the internet's helped a lot because it brings a small group of people together from far away. Like, I can get help from my car. If I'm having a problem, somebody in California can help me out because they're having the same problem. And I just hop on the forums and take care of it, you know? That's probably one of the best things for imports, like, and cars in general. The internet helps out a lot.
I don't really street race too much. You know, I built the car to look pretty. You know, and I want it to be fast and stuff. But you know, sometimes light to light is all right. But you know, you have to use your judgment. You can't do it in the middle of traffic, which a lot of people do.
Street racing is street racing, and then there's track racing. In my opinion, they're two different things. You can drive good on the street, but that doesn't mean you can drive on the track. Street racing's good because it's just straight up good old fun on a Saturday night that you don't get out of, say, going downtown and hanging around at bars and clubs and intoxicating yourself. It does get a little addictive though once you start street racing. Track racing is a good alternative because it's all about the time slip, which, you know, if you know how to drive, you get a good time. And a lot of people do go to the track.
Cops don't ever do anything. I don't think so.
Any idiot with $20 and most of his appendages can get a license, and that's not necessarily a good thing when you pull up next to a stoplight to some guy. It could be some guy cracked out behind the wheel, or it could be like a kid's first day on the street, like trying to run with the big boys, and that's not gonna happen.